Today's lesson is on solving equations. The goal of solving equations is to get the x variable by itself. To do that, you want to move everything away from it. You move terms that don't have the x first. So that would be this positive 5. So to move it, we are going to subtract 5. But what you do to one side, you have to do to the other side of the equation. So think of your equals as kind of like a wall. What you do on one side of the wall, you have to do on the other side of the wall. The positive 5x and the negative 5x cancel. So all I have left on this side is my 3x. And then 26 minus 5 is 21. Now to move the 3 from the x, we're going to divide both sides by 3. That causes those 3's to cancel. So x equals 7. And you're done. On number 2, here is my x. The first thing, here's my wall. The first thing I want to move is that negative 8. So to move that, I'm going to add 8 to both sides of the wall. These 8's cancel. 4 plus 8 is 12. Bring down your equals and your 2x. And to get rid of the 2, because that's multiplication, you are going to divide. 2's cancel. X equals 6. On number 3, here's my x. Here's my wall. This is a negative 9, so to move that, we are going to add 9. Makes that cancel. 5x equals, that's going to give me a negative 20. Divide by 5 to move the 5 away from the x. And x equals negative 4. Be very careful with your sign rules here. On number 4, it's really important to understand that this negative belongs to that 4. It has nothing to do with this 5. That 5 is positive. So to move it, we are going to subtract it. Here's your wall. You're going to subtract 5 from both sides because this is a positive 5 and this is a negative 5. They cancel. A negative 7 and a negative 5 is a negative 12. Bring down your negative 4x. Divide both sides by negative 4 to get that away from the x. And x equals a positive 3. Number 5, again, it's important to understand that that negative belongs to that 3. So this 6 is positive. So to move it, we are going to subtract 6. But the negative is still on that 3x. Positive 18 minus 6 is a 12. Divide both sides by negative 3. X equals a negative 4. On number 6, that is a positive 8 that we need to move. So I'm going to subtract 8 from both sides. It does leave me with a negative x. 15 minus 8 is 7. Now we are not done. There's a negative with our x, and that is like a negative 1. And if you want to put a 1 there, you can. So I have to divide by a negative 1. Those cancel. X equals negative 7. Number 7, the negative 7 is who we need to move, so I'm going to add 7 to both sides. Those are going to cancel. 9 plus 7 is 16. Bring down my 4x, divide by 4. X equals 4. Now number 8 has a little bit more meat on it. The first thing we need to do is to distribute our negative 3. And that's multiplication. So we're going to multiply. It's going to give me a negative 3x. And then a negative 3 times a positive 2 is a negative 6. And that equals a negative 18. Again, here's my wall. Here's my x. I'm going to move the negative 6 over first. So I'm going to add 6. Negative 3x equals, it's going to give me a negative 12. Divide by negative 3. X equals a positive 4. Now, number 9 is a little different because it has variables on both sides of the equation. If you look at your wall, I have an x over here and an x over here. So the goal first is to get my x's on the same side of the equation and then to get all my non-x's on the other side of the equation. So for some reason, I like to move the x's to the front, so to the left-hand side. So I'm going to take the entire 8x and I'm going to subtract it because it's positive. And I'm going to move the entire 8x over to the other side. So this is like a 1. So 1x minus 8x is a negative 7x minus 5. There's my equals, and then I have a positive 16. So now here's my x. I need to move the negative 5, so I'm going to add 5. So negative 7x equals 21. Divide by negative 7. X equals a negative 3. Number 10, the same thing. I have x's on both sides. Again, for some reason, I like to move the x's to the front. So because this 7x is negative, I'm going to add 7x to both sides. Those cancel. 2x and 7x gives me 9x. I bring down my negative 21 and my equals and my 15. And I hope that you're picking up how important it is during these equations to be neat and to watch your details. You miss one little negative or one little number and it can throw your whole problem off. So these aren't necessarily difficult, but they're really easy to make a careless mistake in. So take your time. To solve for x now, I'm going to add the 21 over to the other side. So 9x equals 36. Divide by 9. X equals 4. And again, feel free to pause or redo an example if this is going too fast. Feel free to take your time going through this. So number 11, we're going to distribute the 2. So that would give me 2x minus 6 equals 5x plus 7. Again, to get my x's on the same side, here's my wall. I'm going to subtract 5x over to the other side. 2x minus 5x is a negative 3x. Bring everything else down. Now I'm going to add 6. And then I'm going to divide by negative 3. And this is where some of you may panic because you get an answer that doesn't divide evenly. Well, first let's look. We have a positive divided by a negative, so I know my answer is going to be a negative, so I'll put that on the top. Don't ever leave your negatives on the bottom. 13 over 3 does not reduce. There's no number that goes to 13 and 3. So you can leave it as negative 13 over 3, or if you want to, you can divide up. So 3 goes into 13 4 times, all the way up to 12, so there's 1 left over. I'll take either answer. Either one is just fine. Number 12, we've got to distribute on both sides. So distribute on the left-hand side first. That's going to give me 20x minus 32 equals 16x plus 24. Here's my wall. And you don't have to do this dotted line if you don't want to, but it helps some people. To move my x, I'm going to move this positive 16x, so I'm going to subtract him. 20x minus 16x is 4x. Bring down my minus 32 and my positive 24. Now I need to add my 32 over to the other side. So 4x equals, let's see, that's going to be 56. And then I'm going to divide by 4. And that's a 16. Or a 14, I'm sorry. Okay, so that's it for equations. Again, the goal is to always get the x's on one side and the numbers on the other. Get x by itself. You can check your answers by plugging in the answers for x back into the original problem. Just the biggest key is to take your time and watch your details.